Can't just let him cheat death. This is the kind of thing that changes timelines. Maybe it would have ended up so Titanfall 2 sales suddenly pick up, the population gets higher, Titanfall 3 is announced, and I should have probably let him live. Alternate timelines aside, today I have for you guys the complete package when it comes to Titanfall gameplay. There's just a little bit of everything. You guys are going to see some cool mobility stuff, some not so good mobility, some great aim, some potato aim. It really is everything. It's everything good and everything bad about this game. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We're going to be doing grapple grabs, eject grabs, phase kills. There's going to be a lot of kills in general. This is going to be an action-packed game. So go ahead and just buckle in, and we're going to chill out for the next 10 minutes with some solid Titanfall gameplay. This is an opening that I talked about a little while back. I go into, I didn't go down the center. I almost did, as you saw with that opening grapple. But then I changed my mind. I decided to come here because it really has everything you need. It usually has pilots coming. It also has the extra multipliers in the form of grunts. And there's less luck involved in getting up the hill. This is definitely the more tactical position. I also went with Ronin because I find that this map just brings out all of the things that make him already strong and multiply it. You're going to be really good against Titans, you're really good against pilots, and just overall I picked a pretty strong build. I don't use the car very often. You're going to see the influence of the R101 on me because of how much I aim down sights, but it's still a relatively good gun. I haven't used it a ton, but you know, it's a pretty basic gun, so it really does help me out. On a side note of guns that I don't use very often, the Spitfire, I put it on for one game. I got to 27 kills, okay? And that was my first game. That was my warm-up game, and I'm just like, wow. And as I was fooling around with it, and I took a few, like, just tuck, 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 it killed from so far. It was crazy. I don't know about going through the ship. To be honest, I feel like it's such an easy place to get jumped. And I have that multiplier going, so I'm like, do I really want to risk it? Instead, I end up just going through here. And right here, I seem to miss the wall, and those are one of those ones where you're like, you know, completely ruins that run through there. If you've ever ran through one of these little tunnels while bunny hopping, it looks awesome, feels awesome, and it's just overall makes you a badass. So go ahead and do it. Your guy starts glowing, and then you get to destroy people. Alright, we have our Titan. As soon as I drop this thing, I am going to burn all my boost. I am going to use my dash, because what we're looking for is their spawn. They're not even thinking about an anti-Titan weapon at this point of the game. You're the first Titan they're ever going to see. They're like caveman. They're like, what is this thing? They don't know what's going on. So in my new form, I am about to invade them, pick up the scraps, and it's at this point that me and my Titan have completed the blood ritual. We are now bonded for life, or until he dies and hopefully I escape. Because I am the boss, and this thing's gonna sacrifice itself for me, and I'm down with that. And now that Rai also has another Ronin, they're gonna have a hard time just because of our zoom. There's still more pilots out on the field, so they have their primary guns out more than likely, so the Titan advantage is real right now. I mistimed that phase shift, so he didn't end up taking any of my shields, but that's okay. In the next one, we are going to catch the next guy, and we're also going to phase into him, which is when you boost, you let them jump off behind you, and then while you're phase shifting and making sure you don't take any damage, you also end up spawning in them, just like this. So that's a phase shift kill. There, that worked out perfectly. I like it when the timing just works. So if you guys want to rewatch that, you can. It's a very strong maneuver. First, you want to just start by timing it out so you don't take damage, and then you can start doing this next part, which I think is actually a pretty cool trick, and it's pretty consistent. Consistent if you know the timing. So, you know, I'm not saying it's going to pretty much make it so you never lose your battery again, but when you're trying to take a battery from a Ronin, you have to be aware that he does have an extra countermeasure, and it's kind of glitchy because sometimes you get the battery, sometimes you don't. I don't know, sometimes they don't take damage even though you take their battery. I also don't know how that affects you getting some of your Titan meter. I have to assume you do, maybe you don't. I'd have to look at it closer. To be honest, it's not something that I paid a lot of attention to. But if you're a Ronin main, I'm sure you've seen this done. I know Iniquity does it. He's quite good at this timing. There's something to be learned there, is that there are people who do it consistently. This is one of those advanced maneuvers that it's easier said than done, but it is really good. Kind of like grabbing people now out of their eject with a grapple. That is starting to come into play more. And again, it's not something that gets done to me often. I'm trying to think when somebody grabbed me out of an eject with a grapple, and maybe it's happened once. I don't see it often. I'm starting to do it myself quite a bit. As you can see from this video, I'm starting to grab a lot of people. I've always grabbed people, but Now I'm starting to do it where I'll chase you straight up. Like, I'm getting good at intercepting people. There's just these moves in Titanfall that each ability kind of has where it's like top tier moves. The grapple, eject grab is it for grapple. Stim eject, I would put that there as well. What other tricks? Let me think. Satchel boosting, AWOL satchels to completely decimate Titans. Things like that to me are the pinnacle of Titanfall tactics. And there isn't a lot of people doing them, but I think when you do see them, you can appreciate how cool they are and how strong they can be. It's just really cool to see those maneuvers. Again, I'd like to see them more, and as our player base gets more and more experience and more condensed, I guess you are going to see it more. I'm going to quickly reposition because I did see the Legion back there. You always have to take into account who's going to be the guy that shoots you, right? You're not always just playing for the shot. Ugh, good thing he wasn't shooting at me. Those power shots must make a mess out of a pilot. Like, just imagine it. There's nothing left after. Going back to the grapple and some of the moves that I like, it's now going up for people. If they're at some sort of high floor, I try to slingshot into the midair. And I think it's really cool how you can combine kind of two actions. It's a slingshot plus the grab. Or if your slingshot's good enough, you don't even have to grab them. Where are they spawning? I am going to... see how I'm torn? I'm looking at my radar. There's Titans over there. There's probably pilots on the other side. I could take the easy route, but I come back here. And lo and behold, there's pilots here anyway. So I'm like, yay! Invis pilot. You shouldn't hang out with other people. You have to be a lone wolf. This Legion completely ripped me apart from the side, dropped my countermeasures. I could put on my core and dance around for a little bit and block, but there probably isn't much use, so I'm just going to go ahead and eject and go back into pilot mode. I've been trying to get more batteries out of people just before I earn my next Titan, because then I get to save my batteries. And if you can shelve them, they come in use later on in the game. So don't forget that people can run into the hook, so the easiest way to grapple people is to lay it out like a clothesline so they run into it and then you retract it. I'm going to go ahead and challenge whoever shot me. Going into this slide was purely just for style. I just think it looks so awesome. You feel so smooth while you're doing it, and you just feel like a badass. Yeah, that's pretty much half the reason I hold some slides when I'm shooting people, just so I look all freaking stylish as I go in and... That is a tone. At this point, you have to stay off all surfaces and try to use your double jump wisely. After that, you're just praying to whatever god you believe in. And if not, believe in yourself. I believe I'm using the hot swap on my laser, which is supposed to make my gun come out quicker. It's pretty nice. I take that and the extra ammo since I'm not using the charge hack. I don't notice too much of a difference, but I also don't run too much without it, so that's why I don't know what the numbers are. I'd actually be interested to know what the numbers are. And does it work both ways? Because I'm really not sure. Does it go when I go from gun to laser and also laser to gun? Let's see. I'm going to switch off again, I'm sure. Alright, first I'm going to change to grenade and then... Alright, well, it's probably going to require a little bit more testing, but for now I think we have to say that it's probably a bit faster, right? It is an option. And anyways, there isn't anything else I'd rather run. Not like there's that many options to begin with. Just gonna go ahead and just try to get my Titan right now. And there we go. That was close. Close. Good old out of bounds. Titanfall, when I first started playing this game, the out of bounds seemed so weird because Titanfall 1 didn't have that. You can literally, if you could see it, you could go to it. There wasn't really, out of bounds wasn't a big thing. Here you couldn't even go at a bush, into a bush that was at eye level. So it was kind of weird coming into this game. There were a few things that I was just caught off guard by, like the way that they changed grenades. I used to be pretty damn good at grenades in Titanfall 1 as well. There's actually been somebody, Darkness Falls, he's been posting a lot on Reddit, some really nice grenade throws. So I know that caught me by surprise when I did start playing Titanfall 2. Ooh, am I gonna live? This is gonna be pretty cocky, but I feel like if I core, I'm not gonna take much damage if I'm blocking. I'm gonna be a distraction, and if I can get in there and poke, you know, might as well get in there and poke. But yeah, Titanfall 1 grenades were a little bit better than Titanfall 2 grenades, but I'm still pretty impressed by Titanfall 2 grenades. They work for the game. You gotta remember that they're also rechargeable, right? So they shouldn't be as good, right? In Titanfall 1, you had 2, and that was it. You could get up to 3, and they did not recharge, so you were looking at 2 to 3 kills per per grenade, unlike now where I think my top screen, I think I've gotten to double digits on just grenade runs. So after this next Titan, from there I'm just going to use up all my batteries and I should have another Titan. There's really no reason not to if you're going to stockpile them like this. I'll just let that sink in for a bit. That guy was like so close. Like every time I get one of these kills, I'm just like, yeah, like I get that Titanfall high. It's like I just took it straight to the veins. And then I was denied, so I was so happy when he managed to dodge all my fire, because it means this gets to continue a little bit longer. I wish I could make grenades curve somehow. If there was some sort of button combination to add some spin, I'd be down for that. I thought maybe I'd catch him in here, but he's like full on running. Me and Rai are both so hot on his trail. I'm so happy to see that he's used his phase shift. Accept your fate. It was fate that he got grabbed. He was cheating death by just living past that ejection. Can't just let him cheat death. This is the kind of thing that changes timelines. Maybe it would have ended up so Titanfall 2 sales suddenly pick up, the population gets higher, Titanfall 3 is announced, and I should probably let him live. So this is another move that some people do, some people don't. It's getting out of your Titan. I told him to sit and stay, and it sort of kind of listened to me. And then you come back, and if you have a battery, don't forget, you get a little bit of health, so even when you make little mistakes like this, the Titan's alright. Snuck in a pilot kill. I'm being greedy right now. I'm like, I don't really need this Titan, so I'm just going in for the easy kills. And then start focusing on the Titans again. And I know that pilot's probably like, I hate you. Look at the field. Why are you killing me? Big Titans out in the way, and instead you decide to focus on me, a tiny human. You are a terrible person. You are a bully. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I was definitely bullying him. So this is one of those other kills. This is the grapple, so you don't go up high, and then you come down on him. He doesn't even seem to notice, and now he's dead. I have to get off the wall. If not, a Tone's going to kill me. That last dodge when a Tone was shooting me, all I knew is that you have to stay off the walls. Half the time the Tones kill you is because of splash damage. And then the other half is obviously because they hit you directly. But, you know, even if you can cut out 50% of the ways that you're going to die by a Tone, it's worth it. So just stay off of the wall, stay off the ground, whatever. If you have to touch something, you need to get off of it immediately. I'm gonna get my revenge right now. Job well done. Didn't I tell you guys this game had a little bit of everything? I'm really happy with this game. This was a fun one. What are we going to be doing next time? Rainbow Six is on the back burner. Like, I was going to show you guys a video, but I really want to get into ranked first. I want to see what's going on in there. I'm hoping that the play is a little bit more coordinated. I hope the attitude of some of these players is a little better. Jeez, this community is not quite as friendly as this one. I am getting peppered by these Reapers right now. That's my smoke. I like using those rockets when there's a lot of room. This level doesn't really complement those rockets very well. It's in other levels you can just curve them up. I was hoping to see this other guy up here, but he did something contrary to the meta and just got out of his Titan. It didn't save him, but it was definitely a different thought. It fooled me for a little bit. It's a smart move if it was intentional. It's funny, like in StarCraft, you can know all this theory about the game. Anyways, you can know all this theory about the game, and then you have somebody that just doesn't think like that or doesn't follow the generic rules of the game, I guess you could say. Or they just don't know, you know, one or the other, and you try to do all this kind of counterplay, and then they do something that they shouldn't have, but because of that they beat you, and you're like, he's not better than me? Or is he? Hard to tell. Anyways, that's the end of this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, help the channel grow by leaving a like, leaving a comment, all that fun stuff. So again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.